like to welcome you all to our broadcast. Here at the summit where the president addressing the summit. And I'm sure you're viewing now. This is also part of the speaking engagement that will be happening shortly. This is also part of the opening ceremony. And I will try to interpret as it has been interpreted to me as well. Talk about the US-Africa relationship, conducting operations for the implementation of the project. Of the process, an important mechanism mainstreaming credit exchanges turn to be more inclusive and flexible so that they can get out of them tangible results. See this occasion to organize most of African countries that the implementation of the programs should deserve the attention of credit institutions, balance in terms of liabilities between the creditors and the parties of implementation of the different African countries. Allow him to thank for the invitation extended to him, which gives him the opportunity to contribute to the future relations and the economic relations between the United States of America and African countries. And he hopes that the outcome of the proceedings that will have impact on the continent, and that at the same time they can be beneficial to the different institutions in the U.S. private investors. Thank you so much for your attention. And that was it. His speech. Apologies, we just got the interpretation of the different.
Excellency, President Lorenzo, thank you so much for your excellent comments.
That's the President Lorenzo, and now you are listening
to
the
United States Africa Business Summit of the Corporate Council
MC of this occasion. Now, this is the official opening that has been declared that it is open for activities of the remaining days of the summit. If you're just listening, we want to welcome you to the Executive Mansion Media
Team the Millennium Challenge Corporation presidential
in Dallas,
following a
Texas.
short video by Platinum sponsor IH9.
In the early ceremony, we listened to different addresses being given by a number of speakers, but prominent amongst them, we listened to, or you saw, Her Excellency, Madam Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield, who talked about the different issues, mainly her highlights on Liberia, her appreciation of Liberia. Now, it's going to be a video.
Are IHS Towers, one of the world's largest operators and developers of shared telecommunications infrastructure.
Supports an infrastructure development
Independently owned
initiative.
with a portfolio of tens of thousands of towers across multiple markets.
Keep following. We're going to bring you live
Africa, Latin America,
this
and the Middle East.
opening ceremony came to an end, but this entire summit. But most especially, you will listen to our president, His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai,
and offering
President of the
not one,
Republic
but
of
six
Liberia.
solutions. Co-location new sites in building and distributed antennas.
This broadcast is brought to you by
We're helping more and more
team
people to
of
stay
the
connected
Executive
every single day.
Mansion Media Crew.
Innovation is our lifeblood.
Enjoy
Investing in
the
the
short
latest
video.
technologies to deliver cutting-edge solutions for the world's leading mobile network operators. Sustainability is key. We're utilizing renewable sources to deliver greater efficiencies for our customers and to help protect our shared environment. Together, we aim to contribute to a more prosperous future. Connectivity is critical. We're delivering mobile communication coverage to millions of people across the emerging markets, supporting the implementation of nationwide digital agendas. Practical solutions are our business. Combining the power of technology with our integral infrastructure, we are helping to build the networks of the future, working with our customers to bring mobile connectivity to the emerging markets.
As we celebrate 20 years of the work of the Millennium Challenge Corporation in Africa, please welcome our moderator for this presidential plenary, CCA President and CEO, Flory Lizer, who will introduce our speakers.
The next section that will be happening here is the presidential panel, and the moderator has just been introduced.
Ladies and gentlemen, our MCC presidential plenary will begin momentarily.
And as you're following, you see the Liberian delegation. Here you see that's Dr. Nuta. He is the Minister of Agriculture. He is also here at this occasion. That is the Minister of Commerce and Industry, Muda. He is right there. And we have a number of Liberian members of the delegation who have followed you in this, and we will be letting you know shortly who they are. You already have seen Minister Ami Mudad, the Minister of Commerce and Industry, as I told you earlier. And the minister earlier saw Minister Nuta. The Minister of Agriculture is here as well, attending this ceremony. We also have the National Investment Commission head. I saw earlier on Mr. Jeff Blibo somewhere in the audience. I think, now I see the I see the economic advisor. I see the Minister of Mines and Energy is here. The Minister of Mines and Energy, Minister Wilmot Pay is in the audience, and we see one of the acting commissioners of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, Madam Angela Cassell. Bush Cassell, she would say, and she's here in the audience as well. And that you see the executive assistant. I see Mr. Richardson Doba there, dressed in his African attire, and I see that there you go. There's the NIC. That's the NIC bus. Mr. Jeff. So this U.S. Africa Summit is a summit that brings together African leaders and global business entrepreneurs. And the Liberian team is here, fully represented. Most importantly, is to ensure that the outcomes of these meetings. We have here Mr. Jeff Blibo. We have is one of the senior economic advisors, Mr. Sir Johnny, and I told you earlier they were attired in the Liberian attire. The next section is coming on now. Yes, who's it?
We go in now. It's a privilege to partner with CEO Alice Albright and the Millennium Challenge Corporation.
And we are continuing this section. The next one is the presidential country.
The establishment of MCC. It is an honor to moderate this discussion since I have had personally the privilege of traveling across
now
the
you see our president
of the
on
MCC
this
compact projects over
and
the
it's the
years.
presidential panel that's coming.
I'm delighted that we are welcoming 3 esteemed presidents who have traveled to Dallas, Texas to promote
His
the
Excellency
opportunities,
President
business
Boakai is now on the
partnership, and
stage.
relationships
He is going to be
between their
participating
countries
in this
and the United
presidential
States.
panel.
His Excellency
I want you
President Jose Maria Neves of Cabo Verde, His Excellency
Here,
President Lazarus
the
Shakura
team.
of Malawi, and His Excellency President Joseph Boakai.
Hear that,
of Liberia.
Boakai.
And
It's Joseph Human Boakai of Liberia. Yes, that's
I
our
welcome the
president.
Chief Executive Officer of the Millennium Challenge Corporation, MCC.
Now you'll have the moderator
Albright.
speaking. So the head of the Millennium Challenge Corporation is coming on stage, Madam Albright. So lead the discussion. There you have it. That is our president,
George W.
Joseph
Bush Institute,
Yuma
joined by
Boakai,
former
Senior.
President Bush himself, to celebrate the incredible bipartisan effort to pass the legislation that created the Millennium Challenge Corporation some 20 years ago. Among the members of Congress, both Republicans and Democrats, that voted overwhelmingly for the MCC Act was then Senator and now President Joe Biden. MCC represented an innovative approach to UN foreign development assistance, underscoring the importance of partnering with a country to develop a program that they themselves lead and take ownership of. MCC emphasizes results, accountability, and incentivizes policy and institutional reforms that catalyze private sector investment, creating a broader, supportive ecosystem to not just sustain, but propel entrepreneurialism and accelerate economic growth. MCC programs in Africa have made a significant impact, improving infrastructure, education, power generation, and so much more. Economic opportunities that have benefited millions of people across the continent, and $10 billion of investment in the continent of Africa. MCC's commitment to sustainable development continues to drive positive change in Africa's best governed countries, many of which are represented here tonight. And so with that prelude, might we begin our discussion? And we do seek a discussion to share thoughts and experiences and ideas here in this session. So for this first question, I would ask each of you, if you wouldn't mind speaking to your views from your own perspective and that of your country. President Neves, Your Excellency, please share specific examples of how MCC's investments and initiatives have directly contributed to job creation and economic empowerment in your country. What success stories or transformative projects can you highlight, and how have these initiatives contributed to your country's economic growth? Your Excellency.
Welcome to the discussions of the, well, I will try, oh boy, I will try to do the interpretation, and I'm listening
diferente,
Let's hope my
precisamente
attempt
porque
at
tem a ver
translating
com conjunto de
I think he's speaking
indicadores essenciais
Spanish or something.
para o desenvolvimento de qualquer país. Desde logo, a boa governação, as liberdades económicas, civis e políticas e sociais, e os investimentos nas pessoas,
In here, that's okay.
o rigor
People and
e a
also
transparência da gestão,
transparency
mas sobretudo a
management and public management, but also accountability.
O programa Millennium
And the program
levar os países a
allows the
realizarem mudanças
to create changes
gestão política do país,
in-
da governança do país,
in the management
mas
in
também,
different fields of
a
politics,
nível das
actual governance of the country,
a nível das
as far as the local
diferentes
institutions are
organizações
concerned,
do desenvolvimento, mas também abre possibilidades para
and the institutions that also handle the development of local region. It also opens the dialogue between the government and private
No caso
sectors,
de Cabo Verde,
as well as other
nós
partnerships.
assinamos o primeiro
As far
compacto
as Cape Verde is
em
concerned,
2006.
they signed the first compact in
esse primeiro
2006.
compacto teve
And that first
impacto
compact
enorme em Cabo
had
Verde.
a huge
Primeiro,
impact in Cape Verde.
no processo
First,
de negociação do
in
compacto
the
envolveu
negotiation
os
of the
diferentes
compact
setores
itself,
da administração pública
and involved the
cabo-verdiana,
different
o setor
sectors of
privado,
administration,
os
the private
municípios
sector,
e
the municipality,
o MCC. Foram feitos
and
os
the
estudos
MCC.
e identificados os projetos que iam ao
The studies were
encontro da
performed.
visão de desenvolvimento de Cabo Verde.
and they all need to meet the
E
needs of
aqui,
Cape Verde.
foram identificados projetos na área,
And those
sobretudo,
projects that were
de
identified,
infraestruturas económicas importantes.
The
para o
ones that were most
desenvolvimento
important
do
were the ones in
turismo,
infrastructure,
para o desenvolvimento
economic development,
dos
especially
transportes
tourism development,
e para o desenvolvimento
transportation,
do agronegócio, designadamente mobilização
also
da água e apoio
farming or
aos
agricultural business,
empreendedores,
particularly or specifically in the areas of water
e da
distribution
indústria
and other
agroalimentar.
farmers.
E nós conseguimos construir com o primeiro compacto
Farming,
importantes estradas de
including
penetração para
animal farming or raising
desengravar
cattle.
comunidades
They were able
que,
to build roads
de
to
outra forma,
penetrate
não teriam
areas
acesso a mercados e para
areas
garantir maior
that
possibilidade,
had,
maior mobilidade
especially
de
places that
pessoas e
didn't have
bens.
access to market, creating
Construímos
movement and mobility for people and
moderno porto
connecting
na
of
capital
goods
do
and services
país,
to
a
market.
cidade da
We
Praia,
built modern port in the capital of the
desenvolvimento
country,
dos negócios
which allowed for the development of
entre
businesses
Cabo Verde, o
between
continente
Cape Verde
africano, mas entre Cabo Verde e
and the
outros
African
continentes.
continent,
E desenvolvemos
including other
infraestruturas no
continents as
sentido
well.
de mobilizar
They
a
developed
água
infrastructures
e o
as far as water
desenvolvimento
distributions
da pecuária e da agricultura. Mas também o MCA
cattle
permitiu-nos
raising as well as
fazer profundas mudanças
but
institucionais.
the
a
MCC
nível da
also
gestão
allowed them to
financeira
create
e
really deep
orçamental, e
institutional
permitiu-nos
changes
também
and it allowed
mudar e modernizar
change
todo o quadro
and modernize
regulatório e legislativo relativamente
all
ao
of the legislative
desenvolvimento de
groups
setores como
as far
a
as
gestão
the
da
development of
água,
different
a
sectors,
gestão de todo o sistema de
including water
saneamento
management
e mecanismos de
and health
apoio ao
management
setor privado para participar no processo de desenvolvimento
and the
do
support to
país.
private sector
No final
that allow
da
for the
execução
development of the
dos
country.
compactos, tínhamos país
After the
muito
execution
mais
of both
moderno,
compact, they
com
had much
novas
more
instituições
modern country
econômicas e políticas,
with new
com
institutions
maior capacidade de gestão,
in the
mais
areas of
eficiência,
political
mais
institutions,
eficácia, e também país
more
com
efficient as
maiores
far as
condições de
management,
negociar parcerias com
a country
outros
that has better ways to
organismos,
forge
outras instituições
other
para o
partnership
financiamento do
with
desenvolvimento
other organizations
de Cabo Verde. Porque o Millennium Challenge,
and other
para além dos
government
recursos
could develop
disponibilizados,
in
abriu-nos caminho
Cape
para a
Verde.
construção
All
de
the
parcerias
resources that were
com
available to
outros
them
organismos
financially allow them
financiadores e
to create more
abriu-nos canais
partnership
para
with
a
other financial
realização de
institutions,
estudos e desenvolvimento de outros
and they
setores que são
created studies
para o desenvolvimento de
in
Cabo
other
Verde.
sectors
Portanto, o MCA não é só o financiamento em si,
that are helpful to the
mas
development
a
of the
capacidade
government and country.
que gera
It's
para
not just
criar
about the
dinâmicas
financing
de
that they got,
crescimento, de desenvolvimento,
but it
de
also
aumento de
created
produtividade e de competitividade.
a key
E de
catalyst
prestarmos atenção
for the momentum
ao
to
reforço
have
da
more
democracia,
productivity
das liberdades
and to reinforce
e da boa governança.
their
Portanto,
democracy
são esses os elementos
for the
essenciais que nós conseguimos com os dois compactos do Millennium Challenge, accounts já executados. Obrigado.
So that concludes his statement.
Thank you for that, excellent remarks in terms of what has happened in Cape Verde through your NCC compact. President Chikwera, perhaps you could share your views from Malawi's perspective. Thank you.
So is Malawi's president about to speak? Earlier on, you listened to the president of Cape Verde, and now you are listening to the president of Malawi addressing this plenary section of the MCC.
Our journey
He's talking
with
about
MCC commenced in
Malawi.
2005,
The journey that
when it
commenced
was
in
granted a
2005.
three-year
Take a listen.
threshold country program supported by an investment of $20.9 billion. This program focused on crucial aspects of our nation's development, including combating public corruption and enhancing fiscal management. Through targeted interventions, we fortified our governance structures, enacted important legislation such as the anti-money laundering law, and introduced plea bargaining provisions under the Criminal Procedure and Evidence Code. These foundational efforts paved the way for Malawi to qualify for the MCC's first compact program. The first compact, launched in 2013, received an allocation of $350.7 million. This transformative five-year program centered on addressing the need for reliable energy and power infrastructure to fuel sustainable economic growth. Through this compact, Malawi constructed about 400 kilometers of power transmission and distribution lines, refurbished 26 substations, and upgraded the Kula A hydroelectric power plant. The immediate benefit was the 30% increase in our power production or generation capacity, which significantly reduced power outages that were crippling industries and the provision of critical social services. For the long term, the compact created an enabling environment for independent private sector producers to enter the energy market, fostering competition, innovation, and efficiency. Several producers have since entered the market, with many focusing on clean energy. So far, 2 projects have been commissioned and many are in the pipeline. It further permitted us to embark on an interconnector project with the Republic of Mozambique and access to trading electricity in Southern Africa. Malawi's access to the regional power pool offers cost savings, energy security and reliability, and trade opportunities. Reliable energy for Malawi will improve production and the quality of life, as well as fostering production. Malawi is therefore immensely grateful, as the infrastructure will allow more Malawians to access electricity, currently at 25%. There are therefore vast opportunities for investment in this area. The recent launch of the second compact for Malawi will build across the success of the previous one. But this new 5-year compact aims to support economic growth and by targeting key binding constraints in the transport, land administration, and private sector investment. Ultimately, these new transport corridors in targeting rural areas will reduce time and transport costs, thereby supporting smallholder farmers who face a lot of challenges in accessing urban, regional, as well as export markets. Although my government is promoting a drive towards agricultural commercialization and mechanization, a large percentage of the population still practices subsistence farming, as the country depends on agriculture. The second compact will therefore enhance food security, promote rural livelihoods, and foster sustainable agricultural development. Furthermore, we are grateful that we are able to export some of our agricultural produce to this country under the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, which presents a valuable opportunity for Malawi to expand its exports. It is not possible to point out exact figures, but the benefit accrued through the MCC compact are numerous, and millions of Malawians have been positively impacted in many ways, and we thank the government and the people of the United States of America for their unwavering support. Together, we can overcome challenges, unlock potential, and build a brighter future for our people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, President Chikwara. And let me just say to all those here, we know that you have a flight that you absolutely must catch. And so feel free when it's needed for your team. They've told us many times that they need to get you out of here at a certain point. But we're going to continue this dialogue. And please stay for as long as you can, but feel free to exit when you need to. So President Boakai, though you took office in January of this year,
Now, our president
has been a prominent government
has been
leader
asked
in Liberia for many, many years. Would you like to reflect on how prior MCC threshold compact program impacted Liberia's citizens, and perhaps also share your thoughts on future partnerships with MCC? Your Excellency.
Now, President Boakai is about to address the audience. You want to go check?
Thank you so much. And,
His Excellency Josephine
thank you for this
Boakai
opportunity to be here.
is speaking to the summit.
I came along with the Minister of Finance in 2015 to sign for the $257 million. At that time, we had problem with our electricity. There's about 28 megawatt of electricity afforded to the entire city of Monrovia. And with the $257 million, we were able to stretch electricity from 28 gigawatts to quadruple. We have 116 megawatts of electricity from that money. Our access to electricity went from 9.4 to 30%, and the residents, Monrovia, the power plant was cut from 47.7% to 31%. We had access from 38,000 family members to 282,000 persons. The price went from 50 cents per kilowatt hour to 24 cents. You can imagine the saving to water, just from pumping water to the city. We were able to save up to about $780,000. And so the amount of money was able to bring about development and business opportunities. We're able to get power into a lot of school buildings and business centers. And Liberia now has the opportunity
Now the president of Malawi is leaving. That's why you had a little break.
and I can
President
say
Boakai
that,
continues.
this has brought a lot of improvement to our economic end. I want to say thank you so much to the MCC. That was the first MCC, and it is our hope that we'll improve upon this. And also, what that does is we have the opportunity on improving on our relationship with our neighbors, because we are border, that we're able to benefit from our economic activities. And so we are very grateful to the MCC, and we look forward to building on what we have enjoyed so far. And I hope under my administration, we are now fighting corruption. We are now making sure the rule of law will prevail. We came up with what we call arrest as our development agenda. Arrest, ARREST, meaning agriculture, roads, rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism. And we believe that with that, we're going to make sure Liberia will bounce back in a very terrible way. We are happy that we're able to have a peaceful election that brought us to power, and it sent message to the world that Liberia is back for business. Thank you very much.
Liberia is back for business. That was the last statement from the president.
My dear friend.
Next
say a
speaking
little bit
will be
about
CEO
how
Albright
you view the process that MCC
of the
has
Millennium
for
Challenge
developing
Corporation.
your programs and your
That
compacts with
is
partner countries. I believe it's
you remember
been,
Liberia
is it
was also
17
part
parts
of
Africa that have had
MCC, and that's what the
MCC
president just
compacts,
spoke about, and looking forward
both
to
full compacts and threshold compacts, which is
so
just
that we are able
amazing,
to
over the
regain
20
our
years of
status
MCC. So congratulations
on
on
the
all
MCC.
that you all have done these past 20 years. But share a little bit with all of us
President
about
Albright,
the process
CEO,
and your
will be
perspective.
speaking.
Thank you so much, Flory.
listen.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for inviting us to the CCA, and it's a great honor, of course, to be here with President Neves, President Boakai, and of course, as he's left, President Chakwera. I think all of you have heard from the three heads of state here what it is like to work with MCC, and I think there's no more powerful example for understanding it than hearing from President Boakai, Neves, and Chakwera. Zooming out a little bit, for those of you who don't know MCC, we've been in business for 20 years now. We're in our 20th year. We've deployed $17 billion. We have deployed, Africa represents about 2/3 of our work. We've deployed $10 billion in Africa, working with 24 countries on the continent. Our mission is to eradicate poverty through economic growth. We've heard from the presidents how we actually do that. First of all, we're very selective with the countries that we work with. Countries have to be democracies, they have to be investing in their people, and they have to be trying to build a very sound economic environment. But once countries do become eligible, we go deep and we go big. And you've heard from the presidents about the sizes of the compact investments that we make. Principally, we invest in infrastructure, although not exclusively, but that tends to be a lot of what we do. This is about building transmission lines, roads, schools. We also invest in education systems, health clinics. President Neves talked about a big port, which I saw not too long ago. So you can see that these are the basics that countries need to help advance their own economic agenda. What is distinctive about MCC, in addition to the sizes of the grants involved, and I'll say grants and not loans, is that we work very closely with countries from the very beginning to put them in the driver's seat. Countries get to determine the areas that we work in, countries get to determine the types of projects that we work on, and countries are made responsible for the implementation. One thing we do have is a 5-year time clock. That once we start implementing, things have to be done in 5 years, which is very good for everybody to stay on track. But given that we're here with so many representatives from the corporate environment, one thing I wanted to point out is how valuable working with countries is for creating an auspicious environment for companies to invest. We've heard a lot about the rule of law, about stability, about transparency, about procurement systems, about skills, about infrastructure. All of these things are very necessary ingredients for corporates to begin to look at different countries and figure out where they want to invest. So in addition to the particular areas that we work on with countries, we think we set an effective, working with countries, very effective table for private sector investors to come in. So we're all in and ready to go for our next 20 years. We've done 10 billion in Africa in 24 countries for the first 20 years. And let's try to top it for the next 20 years. Lori, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Alice. So
That is the CEO of the Millennium Challenge Corporation talking about looking forward for the next 20 years. They've done the first 20,
particularly in terms of trade facilitation
and then they're
cross-border
continuing the
infrastructure
next
development. I had the
20.
privilege of visiting the port from their first MCC compact. But what role do you feel that the compact plays in the regional growth?
So now they're back to the president of Cape Verde is talking about his contribution of MCC. So he said the MCC have contributed for the needed growth, particularly the inclusive growth of the economy. They have had immense impact in places in Cape Verde that they are made out of islands, and the infrastructure cost is really higher and expensive. And when they signed the first MCC compact, it resulted into studies that they made in collaboration with the MCC and other administrative institutions in Cape Verde. And the results that they found and the impact the project had in the growth of the economy and the creation of factors of competitive and combating poverty, it resulting in more quality of people. And he believes that the partnership have effectively had impact on the growth of Cape Verde. And the reason why he says MCC is different is that the MCA is governed by the MCC and it's different. And they can identify the real needs of the countries, and then they can invest on things that are essential so that the countries can gain competitive nature, and they can have more and inclusive growth. it is necessary to account for the fact that MCC, during the development of their study, with the goal of reaching the targets and relating to transparency and relating to rigor and accountability, it has allowed them to have changes inside the institution and what Cape Verde implemented important changes vaccinated towards the management of finances and the creative system, completely digitalized and inaugurated in the management of the budget, and it has allowed them to get their first award in the sense of management or the financial management that have brought them greater efficiency in the management of their governance and greater equality and more transparency in managing resources in government sector. Based on terms quantitative growth, improvement of life, the quality of life, and there were additional institutional changes that allow the institutions to ensure that much more inclusive of political and economic.
Island nation, we recognize how important it is to connect to your partners throughout the region and across the continent as well.
The moderator is speaking as well.
Continental Free Trade Area, which now is facilitating trade across the whole region, trade and investment, and an area that many of our U.S. private sector is very interested in. So to wrap up, let us go back and maybe just President Boakai, I think.
So now, President Boakai.
President Boakai, would you like to say anything else about the importance of MCC and just what you hope for in the future as you new leadership of Liberia?
So now President Boakai has been asked his hopes and aspiration for new leadership.
Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and so almost all we have citizen living in local areas, so there's a lot of business and family relationship. And so one of the things that we need to improve connectivity, the road system, and that's why we came up with IRS, and the second to agriculture is roads. Travels are very difficult. Connectivity is very important because there's a lot of border trade, businesses, and security. Without good road network and connectivity, the borders, especially in the trouble region like we have now, it is very important to have good communication, good road network, and to improve relationship on outside of the border. And so our need is to build a road network, to be able to improve our communication system, and to be able to build relationship within the sub-region. I think that our communities are very small, and with good road network, with programs on each so that we can improve our trade. The more we do that, the more secure we are, and the better we can begin to expand our trade and relationship across the borders. I think the road and communication very important to be able to improve the relationship in our region. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Boakai. And before I give the last word to Alice, let me just thank MCC for incredible work it's doing all across the world, but especially
Listening to President Boakai re-emphasizing the need for road connectivity and building network and border trade,
building up Africa's
you know,
infrastructure.
making the case for
I just wanna say
infrastructure
that,
development.
through MCC and a number of other U.S. programs, PGII and others, supported by U.S. government agencies, we love what MCC is doing, and the private sector looks forward to continuing to work with you here, with MCA partners on the ground, to realize the vision for that sustainable partnership that we have with the continent of Africa through MCC and other programs in the United States that build up Africa's infrastructure. So Alice, the last word is yours.
Thank you so much, Flora. Just two final points, and huge thanks to you, President Neves and President Boakai, and in absentia, President Shakur, for joining us this morning and being such wonderful partners for MCC. President Neves, you touched on a bit of a new program that we have called a regional compact. And of course, we've just selected Cabo Verde as our first island nation regional program. We're very excited about that. But this is a new authority that the agency received in 2018, and I think it's going to really give us some terrific opportunity to look at regional integration in a variety of ways, and we're very excited about it. When I think about our next, dare I say it, our next 20 years, I think that I would forecast that we'll be seeing different types of regional tools more and more, particularly because of trade and integration. Second point is we have a number of other agencies of the U.S. government here as part of our delegation. I encourage everyone to meet everybody, but if you look at how all the tools of the U.S. government fit together, I think it's a very compelling picture of different types of ways that we can bring our capabilities as a government together to work with all of you, to invest, to think about infrastructure, to think about what the continent needs for the future. One of the things that is a common theme through all of it is the ability to work on different aspects of infrastructure. And we're very enthusiastic to meet with country partners here, as well as all of you from the corporate sector over the course of the wonderful CCA to see what we can do together. But thank you so much. It's just wonderful to be here.
Great, thank you. So could I
That
ask for a round
was
of applause for the excellencies, the presidents of Cabo Verde, Malawi, Liberia, and thank you so much.
And the CEO of the Millennium Challenge Corporation, Madam Albright. And that concludes the presidential plenary section of our different presidents, including His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Boakai and the President of Malawi. Now they're going to extend pleasantries and handshakes. That was it. He was giving some gift, I believe. I can see because I'm a little bit at distance, but that's President Boakai and the President and CEO of the Millennium Challenge Corporation extending handshake. And you also see the President of Cabo Verde and the moderator in a tete-a-tete now. It's just President Boakai, the moderator, and Madam Albright. They're all, extending pleasantry.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next segment will begin shortly.
Okay, Mr. President and members of the rest of the team here. That is the presidential plenary happening. Now they're coming down the stairs. I'm on the way. I gotta move. It's ongoing. The presidential plenary just concluded. Now you see President Boakai and the CEO of the MCC coming down now, shaking hands with some dignitaries here at the meeting. They end the presidential panel. The next panel that he will participate in will be a roundtable, and then there is a plan as well for just a focus on Liberia exclusively. Well, from all of us here, the outside broadcasting crew of the Executive National Media team, my name is Kula Fofana, Presidential Press Secretary. I'm here with the protocol, Madam Winnie Chu, and the Deputy Minister, Mr. Kessley, is here. We have Terence on the crew here. We have Joseph Blackie, he's on camera, and he's also on videos and on still photo. And we have the Minister of Information. Minister of Information, how are you? Welcome to our outside broadcasting. No, we're live. We're live. And there you have it. The president is greeting dignitaries as he concludes this. We have the ambassador here, Ambassador Duana. We have Madam Genevieve as well, part of the Liberian team. We're leaving now from this first plenary section. I'm sure you are seeing the live coverage here. We have Madam Vashta Talu of the Liberia Broadcasting System doing her work. And you see the president is greeting other leaders. That's the Minister of Foreign Affairs, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, as well as other leaders. This outside broadcasting crew. Thank you, Joseph Blackie, for the work, and the rest of the team. Now it's a photo opportunity. You know, everybody wants to get the president autograph, and there's some photo opportunity with him. Is giving the security some tough time. The Secret Service are all looking around. But you have Mr. Anthony Kessley is on this OB team. You see the minister, you see the rest of the team. They're going now to go into the room to rest a bit. The green room, I think, the holding room. And everybody wants some photo opportunity. World leaders, and as you listen to the president, he said Liberia is back for business. That is 100% true. I can see the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Alexander Nuta, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and other dignitaries who are greeting the president, and the Minister of Mines and Energy, Minister and then you have the Liberian ambassador to the United States of America, Ambassador Duana, Jeff Duana. They are here trying to, others are coming. They want to get some selfie with the Liberian president, His Excellency Joseph Boakai. Now, see, that what happens, you know. You gotta turn 1 minute, you're on the other side, and the other minute you're going. It's not easy, especially if everybody wants to get a piece of the team. Want to get a piece of the president. He's going to all the presidents are headed to the holding room until the next panel. You have the minister is in a tete-a-tete with the president, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Madam Sarah Beslow, is in a tete-a-tete with His Excellency President Joseph Boakai, and she's giving him some updates on the next sections. Now, only few people can go, and there we have it. Maybe we can have a word with the Minister of Information. Minister of Information, welcome to this outside broadcasting crew of the Executive Mansion page, being covered live. Thank you for coming. And what do you make of the current or the just ended presidential panel, especially some of the comment made by His Excellency the President?
The just ended panel was very important for one reason, that you know that MCC, their interventions are transformative. We had Compact 1 before, as the President mentioned, 257 plus million. When we have Compact 2, we're talking about nearly 500 million. That could do a lot. And the President was able to make the case that what we need more is road connectivity, because then it brings together our region more and more. It can enhance economic activity, lead to better relationship, lead to the empowerment of people.
So you made a perfect case. And I can just confide in you that right after that statement, I met with someone who's been in the middle of all these things for Liberia, declared that the country is marching towards number 2. So our presence here, and particularly the president's participation in the presidential forum on the MCC was critical. And I'm convinced he made the case perfectly. And Liberia is marching towards progress.
Thank you very much. We see the Minister of Mines and Energy, after which we'll talk to Mr. Ndobo very, very shortly. So Minister, welcome to this US-Africa Summit. And I see you well attired in the Liberian traditional outfit, the country club. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Welcome. What do you make of this, section that the president just was part of the plenary discussion of presidents, and they talk a lot about the MCC, and President Boakai made a couple of cases, particularly on infrastructure, and you being one key minister on the line of our infrastructure sector, particularly on mines and energy being a key. What do you make of the conversations?
I think it's an opportunity for our country, and the president has started to make a case for Liberia. And I was particularly touched when Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield also highlighted the story of Liberia. It's a real opportunity, and we are here. Infrastructure, as you know, is key. The president has highlighted that, always stressing the need for road, for the need for tourism, the need for agriculture, all of which cannot be achieved in the absence of energy. And that's why we're here. It's important because the economy to prosper and be expanded hinges on those key elements. Infrastructure is very, very key. Once you have the right infrastructure installed, the economy has the opportunity to grow, and the president has prioritized that. So he's making a case for Liberia within just a short space of time. The MCC, we know, has been instrumental, but this is more about how we in Africa and our leaders can see the need to make the most of the opportunities we have, using our resources, harnessing the potential in the mineral sector, in the energy environment, to be able to achieve economic development. And the president has already begun to lift the story of Liberia, and this is why it's important to be here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Minister, and have a wonderful time. I learned that you will be attending other panels. So all the best. We hope to hear, some updates on what's going on at those panels. And as we go back to Liberia and Monrovia and see how these meetings culminate into active conversations and achievements that will trickle down to the Liberian people.
Definitely. Thank you very much. We look forward to that. And the conference is just beginning, so we will see a lot more. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have here Mr. Richardson Ndobo. And he is the head of the Liberia Telecommunications Corporation.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw you nodding your head when the president spoke about the need of connectivity, communications, connectivity. He earlier on, in fact, yesterday, had a meeting, and it was all centered around, ICT. What do you make of these meetings and the conversation of the president?
Well, firstly, I want to appreciate the president because I'm greatly aware
and by
that.
the way, before you continue, your attire is really nice. I see.
Oh yes,
I see you representing the country.
They say U.S. Africa,
yes.
So I decided to come as an ambassador for Africa,
yes.
and specifically Liberia.
Absolutely.
But the presentation by the president was very excellent. In fact, ourselves, that is the telecommunications sector, as a heartbeat of his presentation. And immediately he landed. There is a telecommunication company now they call Global Trust Impact that is willing to, get information from us. So with this, we are thinking that the development of Liberia have just begun. And we wish for more of this to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you ever so much. And
Yes.
there you have it, Liberians who are listening to the meeting happening, and you listen to your president, and you listen to other leadership within the country, particularly the different sector heads. We're here with the team I want to thank all of you for viewing, for staying on, and for your comments. And we will try our best to bring these conversations live to you. We hope that you all back home can tune in and listen and hear for yourselves the participation of His Excellency President Joseph Boakai as head of the Office of the Presidential Press Secretary. As Press Secretary, my name is Kula Ofana, and I'm here with Joseph Blackie and the rest of the team. That despite she comes from a private or public media institution, that is the LBS, she's also on the media team, inclusive of Mr. Kessley, Anthony Kessley, as head of the public affairs, which specifically as the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs, and myself from here as the Presidential Press Secretary. To everyone back home at the office, we say good afternoon or good evening and take it from here. Thank you very much, and we reach out to you again. Bye.